Hey, what's up? I'm Grent Perez, and I'm hanging out with Rob right here on Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here, Front Row Live Entertainment. I'm hanging out here at the Echo with Grent Perez, and I'm so excited, man. It looks so good outside, and this is night two. Like, I can only imagine what it was like last night.
Oh, last night was definitely sweaty. Yeah. 100% sweaty, yeah. But it was great.
Congratulations on this sold-out headline run. What has this run kind of taught you so far? Like, the experience, the vibes, these new fans? Like,
Yeah.
what has that been like?
I think one of the lessons I've learned is don't drink before I go on tour. Because I started this tour on like 30% vocal. I was like raspy, you know. So I'm like still on vocal recovery 6 shows in. But regardless, the shows have been great. The crowds are awake. And yeah, they're super, super nice. The community out here is beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, you as a like a new touring artist, like obviously the vocals is that's your instrument. You got to take care of it. So, you know, because like you mentioned, you kind of started out with that raspy voice. So how different is it now? Like now that you have that mentality, like I got to take care of my voice first. Like I can, you know, the FOMO can wait.
Yeah. The fun can definitely wait now. Yeah, definitely a lesson learned. But, you know, I think you have to learn lessons along the way, right?
Yeah.
Or else like, you know, the growth won't be there. So definitely something I have to consider in the future. Super, super chill, super mellow on my teas. Yeah, you're drinking everything. Yeah.
Awesome. And you know what a great time to be on tour now that this new EP just dropped. I noticed that you have various producers this time around. You don't have Jay again, Lyndon J, right? So like, talk to me a little bit about the difference in production. Like, why did you choose to have multiple producers throughout this EP?
Yeah, so I feel like with this EP, it was really just written whenever I could get the time. Because last year I was traveling quite a bit as well, more than I was used to at least. And I was working with new people, so I was like, yeah, why not? Let's try it. So there's a few songs in there written in Australia, the UK, and also the US. It was really a mess of everything. Yeah, it really was. But regardless, I'm super, super happy with the songs. I feel like the people that I worked with understood my sound quite well. And I feel like I stood my ground when writing those songs to make sure it really felt like me, you know? So, yeah.
Now, during this process and these experiences with new people joining this recording or even the writing process, like what do you feel like that you learn from those experiences? And as far as like the producers go, like which one do you feel challenged you the most, and which track was that?
Yeah, I feel like something I learned is I'm starting to analyze different people that I work with a lot faster. Just like within the first 30 minutes of a session, I'm just like, oh, I can kind of see where this will go. Within this song, I feel like there was no real challenge when it came to the songs that are on this EP. It was really fun for the most part. All of the people that I worked with are actually some of my favorites that I've worked with entirely. So overall, it was a good experience, I'd say. Yeah, confidently.
Now, how did you kind of step out of your own comfort zone during this process, especially vocally? I hear, you know, throughout all of your music, I hear head voice as like a comfort level for you. Like at least that's what you make it seem. So, you know, how did you step out of that comfort zone for this EP and kind of like do, you know, hit new boundaries, hit new vocal ranges, and you know, what was that like?
I think one of the songs that kind of challenged that, surprisingly enough, was the song that contained the most head voice. When the Day Is Done is, I feel like it's just a very, you know, funky, family-oriented song, kind of inspired by Stevie Wonder or Michael Jackson and whatnot. But the whole "When the Day Is Done" all the way like in the higher register, I guess it was just funny. I guess that's a song that really, really challenged me the most. The really high note in "Stuck on You" challenged me the most. I challenged me equally as well. But yeah, I'd say even the initial song, the first song of the EP, "When We Were Younger," um, contains some phrases that require more breath than what you'd usually expect. So yeah, this requires more thought, I'd say. vocally. Yeah.
Do you think about that during the writing process? Like, do you know what you're signing up for? Or is it like one of those things where it's like you have these lyrics in mind, you have these kind of melodies or vocal tones in mind, and then once you hit the recording booth, it's like, oh shit, this is hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, I I have to breathe way before and hold that breath till the end. So sometimes that screws me in the live performance. But we live with it. We ride the challenges. We accept them.
How has this tour kind of helped you like reorganize your set list or reorganize like the way that you write music moving forward?
Yeah, it's definitely opened my eye to that, to the live element of a song. There's definitely a few songs that could potentially stay, on the platforms and whatnot, and they don't come out live. But it's definitely opened my eye to noticing how I'll sing them live, moving around and doing all that stuff. Yeah.
How would you say that you've evolved as a songwriter, especially with this EP? Just the topics you kind of talk about, and just the way you kind of deliver it, your cadence, your delivery in general. Like it's just so like smooth, and I can't imagine this being smooth from beginning to end. Like I feel like there's some like ups and downs that you go through to kind of get to where you're at today. But like, how do you feel that songwriting has evolved for you?
Um, I'd say that my songwriting has become more topical, rather than being purely about love and whatnot. I will always forever have a love song. Love songs are just great. But I feel like I've just been more interested in writing other things that, people experience. I love talking about the human experience. The When We Were Younger series is all about nostalgia and what we've been through and what we might go through. So I think definitely just the topics have evolved. Yeah. And how I write about those.
And do you think like the evolution of the topics is making the songwriting easier? Is it harder? Like, do you feel like love songs are something that just comes naturally to you, and then these kinds of songs are a little harder because there's more research involved?
Yeah, I think so. The love songs are definitely going to be an easy one for me ish. Like, easy is subjective, but I think it just comes naturally. Like the feelings come naturally when it comes to love songs. But when it comes to these topic songs, I really have to search within myself or within another person's story or make up the story entirely. So it's a whole different journey for sure. Yeah.
Now, we're in this like era of music where like there's so much music everywhere, right? Like and like I feel like it's almost hard to discover new talent. It's almost hard to create your own lane. But you've kind of done you've basically done that with your music. You've been able to like create your own lane. What was that process like for you from the beginning? And like do you feel like you're where you want to be musically?
So from the beginning, I honestly just started writing what I thought was cool. Obviously, I started my career on YouTube doing a bunch of covers, and I think I slowly started to realize what types of music I liked, and I wanted to make that into my own when I started writing. Um, and yeah, I guess making my own lane into it. I guess I just trusted my own instincts. I really stayed true to what I thought was cool. But currently, as I stand right now, I feel like my music, in its discography, isn't completely who I am. There's definitely a side of me that wants to be more R&B, way more R&B. Other parts of me that wants to do some James Taylor stuff and be super folky, soft rocky. So it does put me in a weird gray area of having like an identity crisis at some points, but I also want to, really, really explore that and be super, super genre fluid in a way, even if it, kills me in the end. I'm sure there'll be someone that understands, I'm relying on that one person to just understand me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, you're still young in this industry and both, yourself, like, and I feel like you have so much time to be able to kind of experiment, and your audience seems to be very in love with whatever you create and very supportive no matter what. So that's also cool. Also, we don't get much Filipino talent here in the States. And the fact that you are, I'm at heart, Kapuso. But yeah, like we don't get that much Filipino artists out here in the States. So being able to come out to the States, especially from Sydney, like coming out here, sold out shows, you're rapping this and then going on to another tour and then followed by another tour, like that must feel amazing, but that also must add some pressure because you're kind of one of the few.
Yeah, in a way, I feel like I just choose not to look at the pressure. I'm just like, yeah, we're having fun. We're doing it. But then when it comes down to it, it feels very honoring.
Yeah.
I really am super super blessed and happy to be in the position that I am in. And representing Philippines is great. It's something you don't really think about, but it just comes naturally in a way. In every essence, I am like Filipino, and my communities that I bring up are all mixed with Filipinos and other races and whatnot. But it's great. It honestly it warms my heart, and I'm sure. I hope that it warms my parents' hearts as well. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah.
Speaking of parents, are they in that video? Is that actually them?
No, in the
Man,
what today's done.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Sadly, it's not them. I wanted them to be in it.
awesome.
They actually made choreography. My dad, and his cycle. They all bike. They're mates. They made like choreography to that song with their wives, and I was like, let's make a video
Yeah.
for it. And then they all got shy, got cold feet, so it didn't happen. But maybe in the future. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you do something with your music that I really love, and I don't know if it's real or I don't know if it's you vocally. The trumpet. Is that a real trumpet, or is that you with your lips making the notes?
That's my lips.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see that tonight if you're
Nice.
watching the show. Yeah, it's my lips doing that.
How did you start doing that for your music? Because so many artists have different ways of starting to like do different sounds, like just creating stuff out of nothing, right? Like, so what kind of kick? I mean, did you always do that growing up? And it's like, all right, let me put that into some music.
That's actually that's pretty funny. I think I first learned that when I was 11. I used to watch a ton of beatboxing videos. There's this guy named Hikakin or something. He used to do YouTube tutorials. And the mouth trumpet was the only one I could nail. I could never do like the scratch or any of the other noises. So I did that as a kid quite a bit. And then my siblings were like, oh, that's pretty convincing. And I thought it was funny. And then since 12, 13 years old, I hadn't done it till I was 20 on Cherry Wine when we were coming up with the instrumental. And I was like, oh, it would be sick if there was a trumpet that goes or whatever. And then they were like, oh, let's just have that in there. So then we put it in, and I was like, all right, sick. I guess it's a thing now. Yeah. So it's become my thing. Yeah.
It definitely works. So now do you think about it? Like when you go into the studio, is that like your main instrument? It's no longer the acoustic or the ukulele. It's like, let's hit the trumpet first.
No, I try to avoid it quite a bit unless needed. So that it doesn't get overused. Yeah, don't overdo it. I feel like that's the thing that some people take for granted, especially with like jokes and whatnot. You can only tell a joke twice. If it's a really good joke, twice max. 3 times for comedic effect if they're really feeling it. But any more than that, a good joke turns bad. So that's why I try to really contain it. Really, really keep it limited. Yeah.
Now, with these 7 tracks that you have on this EP, which one do you feel like you had the most difficult time with, whether it was in the writing process, the recording process, or even like not even sure that it was going to make the EP, and why?
I feel like, to be honest, with this EP, it all felt very intuitive. I think if there's any song that was gonna make it in this EP, it's one of my songs called "Don't Grow Up Too Fast," which came out in a previous mixtape called the Trail Mixtape, like the other EP. I really wanted that to be in this, but it didn't work time-wise, and we just needed a song to be out. So I was like, yeah, we'll use it then. So in a way, I wish that song was in this EP. But regardless, I feel like this EP stands strong. I feel like the narrative is there. There's like a through line, a solid conclusion. It's a story, yeah.
Now you wrap up this tour, and then you have a little bit of a break, and then you're back on the road. Bigger venues as well, and you're hitting the road with Cape Town, which is going to be amazing. You're also going to be at Head in the Clouds this year, which I'm so excited about. What are you looking forward to on these performances, on these tours, and what can your fans look forward to as well?
To the people that haven't seen me before, expect a lot of energy, a lot of singing, and a lot of crowd involvement. Even if you're unwilling to do so, we'll do it. But for the people that do know me, expect the new music to be performed. Expect good vibes as per usual, a lot of jokes, and hopefully a good time. Yeah.
How awesome is it that guitar was something difficult for you in the beginning? It was more of a ukulele before you hit the guitar.
Correct, yeah.
And then now you're a Fender's Next Class Artist of 2023. Like, what does it mean to you to like have an opportunity like that, especially with like such a major like guitar company? And you know, how excited are you about that?
Extremely excited. I think for one thing, it's one thing to be, you know, noticed by someone like that, but it's super heartwarming to see you know, a company that big really believe in me. And it actually pushes me to want to be better at guitar, because you know, I don't want to disappoint. You know, I really want to showcase my talents out there. And that's something that I'm actively doing, really trying to get better at guitar. As you know, I can sing and play chords, but I want to get better at soloing. I want to do all of this other stuff, and it's really awesome that Fender believes in me. You know, believes in my project, and yeah, me in general. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations with the success so far. Congratulations with this tour. I mean, this year feels like it's gonna be like, if people don't know about you yet, they're gonna know by the end of the year. Like, it's gonna happen regardless. So, congratulations with that, and thanks so much for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out Grent Perez. New EP is out now. Catch him on tour. He's gonna be on tour the rest of the year. So, thanks for watching on Front Row Live.